YouTube, what's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. What's going on? See how this mic, working out. I got a mic. I call myself getting a professional mic. Got this mic set up. See that? It's got an arm on it. You know, make my videos sound all professional and stuff like that. Can y'all hear me? Is this mic working? Yeah, what's going on? Alex Express, Sheldon. I can't pronounce that name. Oh yeah, thanks, babe. I appreciate it. So, Fofo, you going to buy Peterbilt now? I ain't getting no Peterbilt. Yeah, what's going on? Ivan, my friend. You knew I was talking about you, Ivan. All right. Your voice is in HD now. Okay. Just a little. It look professional. I don't know if it sound professional, but we're gonna roll with it. You went to Dallas. Matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, let me see. I don't think I've been to Texas with my own authority yet. I've been seeing loads, but they just ain't paying right to go to Texas. From Atlanta to like Houston or Dallas, I need loads to pay about 2,200, maybe 2,300 to go to Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, something like that. That's about 800 miles. 850, depending on which city you're going to. Yeah, I need the load to be about 22 to 2,500. I mean, I see loads now paying 1,500 to go to Texas right now. I'm like, y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. A broker just emailed me a while ago. He got a load paying $2,000 to go to a load going to look. Why is this thing flip like this? Don't make no sense. But yeah, that's a JB Hunt broker. He was paying 2,000 to go to somewhere in New Jersey. If y'all can read that as backwards, wish I can flip it. But anyway, so let me see. What Gucci with the truck? How about Lowe's going to Michigan? Yeah, I do see some Lowe's paying average rates going to Michigan because that's 1,000 miles. I mean, you need 2,500 to go that far. I mean, it's just like, see, the thing is, when you're looking at these long trips, you got to look at it. You got to look at what your truck needs to gross daily. So to go 1,000 miles, that's 2 days of work. That's 2 days of work. 1,000 miles. That's 500 miles a day. That's 10 hours each day. Anywhere from 8, 9 to 10 hours of running. You got traffic, weather. It's a good day's work. 500 miles, right? So times 2, that's 1,000 miles. So if I pick up a load out of Atlanta going up to Michigan, I expect that load to deliver on Wednesday. And I need about $1,200 to $1,300 a day. So for a load to go to Michigan, I would need like 24, 25, 2,600. Which I don't see a lot of those loads. A lot of times I see loads going from Atlanta to Indiana, paying anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000. I've booked a handful of loads going up to Indiana, 500 miles, $2,000, 1,800, 2,100. I booked a load of pallets a couple weeks back going to Indiana. That load paid 1,900. Plus, I got some detention on it. Plus, I got a couple hours of detention. So, right now, rates are not good right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Rates are not good right now. So, for got a mic. Yeah, it's just. What happened? I don't know. The chat blinked out over here. Yeah, I got a little mic here. I like I said before, I was trying to get into some podcasts. So, but a lot of times when I get home, I just be trying to relax. I'm not really trying to be doing no work. I get off the truck and I just be trying to relax, But so let's see. 4 got a mic. It wasn't backwards for us. Atlanta to Detroit, a little over 600 miles. Is it? I could have sworn it's 1,000 miles. But anyway, I see loads going up there for about $2,000. Does loads for reefer going from ATL to paying? I don't even look at reefer loads because I'm not in the reefer game. I do dry box. So I hear guys, I be out there, I be looking at the board. There's a couple times I called on some loads that were reefer loads, or like a broker may post a load that's a reefer load, but I call on it. I'm thinking it's a dry load, but it's a reefer load. I called on a load one time. It was a load of ground beef. I'm thinking it's like a dry load, and the guy was like, "We had the load booked. We had the load booked." He sent me the Raycon, but then I started looking at the Raycon. It said something about the load told me that it was a reefer load. It had the temperature on the Raycon. It had, I think it said ground beef on the load, and it just, I've pulled reefer before, and yeah, it had a lot of stuff on the Raycon that just said, yeah, this is a reefer load. I called the broker back and I was like, hey, I'm driving. I can't pull this load. He was like, hold on a second. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he, I gave the load back, but it's, let me see, going to the top of Florida for $2,000, 480 miles from Georgia. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know guys who got roofers. That's what they're doing. I mean, I'm really thinking about getting a reefer in the future. Maybe I'll trade this dry van in, or if I hire a driver, I may let a driver pull my dry van and I'll go get a reefer, and I'll charge my driver a fee to use my trailer or something. We might negotiate something, a rental program or something like that. I don't know, but I'm really considering investing in a reefer because the reefer game is crazy. But anyway, y'all hold off with these questions for me. I'm gonna talk about my truck. So I did a video a while ago when I was at the shop, and it ain't good. Financially, it's not good. So, but we got some savings and stuff, and we got to be a boss. This is what we signed up for. We got to be a boss. Ain't no time for crying and $3,000 shop bill. Just go ahead and roll on it like a boss. You got to handle it like a boss. So, yeah, so the truck is in the shop, and I got an engine code a while back, about a week ago. The truck runs fine. Nothing wrong with the truck. You know, the engine light came on. So I don't know if any of y'all know, you can read the engine codes. Like if you press, there's like a button down with the dome switch for the lights in the truck. There's a little switch that you can navigate through the through the through the truck computer system, and it reads out a code. So I got the code. It's a 3720 FMI 15 SPN 3720 FMI 15. If y'all Google that code, it basically it's a DPF code saying that your DPF needs to be serviced. Now, like I say, I got an APU, so I don't idle the truck that much, if at all. I don't idle the truck at all. However, it says to bring the truck in to get it serviced. And so this is where we at. So they pulled the truck into the express bay. Any of y'all got a Freightliner, y'all know how this game works. They got to pull the truck into the diagnostics express lane, and then they put the computer on there. Pretty much like I just told them, they was like, oh yeah, you got to replace your GPS filters. So we looking at about $3,000 to replace the DPF filters. Rico Jones say delete the DPF system. No, you can't do that. we are a new business out here that yeah, I'm not trying to do that. If I'm gonna do that, I would go and get a pre-emission truck than to do that. You might as well just go and get a pre-emission truck. Don't even waste your time trying to do illegal crap. No, don't even mess with it. So most of the money, most of that $3,000 is the DPF filters. They're very expensive. They're like $700 a piece. And I'm getting some other stuff done too. So while it's in there, so I'm getting some other stuff while it's in there. So might as well get that stuff done while it's in there. So trying to get this thing to focus. So we looking at about $3,000 when the truck paid off. I'm gonna get to that. So that's what we looking at. So we got to spend some money. I mean, we've been saving. We got maintenance money. So I don't want to spend the money because I'm trying to do other things. But if you run in the truck, you gotta maintain the truck. But it's funny because there's nothing wrong with the truck. The truck runs fine. It's just that engine light comes on. But so the shop advisor, we went through the different scenarios on what I can do to get the truck fixed. Yeah, see, emissions replacement 13,000, emissions fine 10,000. Yeah, don't even waste your time with that, because these trucks, because when something is wrong with your truck and you take it in to the shop and they find out you remove the DPF system, they're obligated to detain that truck. You can't leave that truck, and then they're going to report you. So this is trucking business. This is what we got to deal with. 3,000, man, that's not high. Yeah, I mean, because I've heard guys fooling around with the DPF and emissions systems. Like I heard guys spending 10 grand, 15, 12 grand. So I think my issue is limited just because I got an APU on the truck. And that's what I think, because I don't idle that much and the truck runs fine. It's just I can go ahead and drive the truck and continue my week, but I don't want to get to a point where the truck is derating and you can't drive the truck at all. And I'll be damned if I be on the load and the truck want to run 5 miles an hour down the road. Now you got to pay a tow bill. Now I'm in the city far away from the house. I decided, you know what, go ahead and put the truck in the shop and go ahead and get this fixed now. So that way you're not on the road. You get this stuff cleared up. That way you're not on the road. I try to minimize the damage because it makes no sense to be out there, try to push the truck to the limit when you had all this time to get it fixed. You know what I mean? So um I'm not stressing. It's just I gotta spend the money. you know. So that's what it is. So that's what we're doing. So I mean this truck, knock on wood, hasn't given me any major issues up to this point as far as money is concerned. Just a lot of little small stuff, a pipe, a hose bust or something, or a, a like I did another video talking about all the things I've done with the truck. A lot of little penny pinching little stuff, $5 here, $10 here, $100 there, little stuff. Other than that, just PMs. So um and given this is a Monday, I like to get stuff done on a Monday. So that way I have all week to get this stuff done. Then, you know, um, I'm not pressed to get out on the road, is because I got savings and stuff like that. So we're running a business, you know. Is that with the SFI discount? I got that as a quote, but with SFI it was 2,300. I wasn't even thinking about that. That is true. Like if you were if when they look in the computer and they see that that truck is a Snyder truck, they'll give you Snyder's rate on parts and labor and stuff like that. That's a good point. You know. Hold on, hold on. Let me look at these lows real quick. I got my alerts turned on, so my phone will go off, whenever there's a load that comes on the load board. Hold on, y'all. Decatur. Damn, nobody ain't booked that load yet. This load here paying 1,300. Let me see. Lucer, Virginia. Let's see. Ocala. Yeah, I don't see nothing. Let's see. Yeah, all the loads gone for today. You can book something for tomorrow. It's loads out there, but it ain't nothing nobody want to pull. Let me see. They got a load going to Alabama for 800. Let me see. 800. Texas. They got this load going to Texas for 2,200. Okay. So, but yeah, so that's going on with the truck. For don't take your truck too late. I already took it down there. Right. You can't take the truck to the dealer after that. So like if your truck has a warranty on it, you might have to, I would suggest wait until your warranty is up, then to do that deletion. And then because at that point you're gonna be fixing stuff yourself anyway. So um, you know, is right because you know that's what they brought out that emission stuff for, to keep you in the dealership. Because here's the deal, I was looking at getting DPF filters. You know you can buy DPF filters on Amazon. I mean seriously, you used to, on certain trucks you can buy the DPF filters on Amazon. But for Detroit engine, I couldn't find any. I found DPF filters from Peterbilt's. I found some for Cummins, and I found some for Max Force. I didn't find none for Volvo, and I didn't find none for Patcar. Um, but it's like they're got a lock on the parts, and they don't want guys to um fix this stuff themselves. And like you can buy a scan tool, put them new DPF filters in there yourself, get the scan tool and erase that code and go on down the road. You can buy the DPF filters yourself for like I think I seen them for like 300, 400 a piece, you know, and you're looking at probably about $1,000. You know, you got to buy the gaskets, you got to buy the clamps and stuff that go around them and some other things. And you know, so you're probably looking at a good $1,000 if you do it yourself. And or you can go and get them clean, you know. So, but the thing is that you got to do it before the light comes on. That way, the truck knows that, you know, because once that light come on, and then the truck is gonna want to derate, and it's got an internal clock, and once that internal clock can start running, it's like no matter what, when it gets to a certain date in the ECM, it's gonna send you to the shop, right? But you got to know, okay, at 200 to 300,000 miles, you need to get the DPFs clean. And it's kind of my fault because I should have done that. When I first got the truck, I should have went and got the DPFs cleaned. That way it won't shoot a code, because I personally think there's nothing wrong with the DPF filters. I feel like I want to go and take them out just to look at them and see what's wrong with them. And if they're still relatively clean, we can still go down the road and, you know, get a pressure washer. Like I've seen guys, I've heard of guys on Trucker Report just getting a pressure washer and washing them out. You know what I mean? Just washing them out. So, um, but is that's just the game, you know. So, uh, but yeah, they have to do it at the dealer. I mean, you can get a scan tool and do it, but you know, repeat. Man, what you talking about? Giggle, fart, clap, grunt, moan, snort, but you replaced the filter not too long ago. No, no, what we talking about the DPF filter, the parklet, the parklet filter. We talking about these big drum looking filters. They about the size of a garbage can. I would say they probably about the size of a bathroom garbage can. They're big circle ones, not the DEF filters, the little small thing that go on the DEF. You're talking about the percolate filters, these big old kitchen garbage can looking things. They're about that big around. They're about that big around, and there's two of them in the Detroit engine. Fofo, don't pay the money. Ask the dealer to print you the page that show the values of the filters. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's too late now. It's, you know. But yeah, so besides the truck in the shop, the truck is in the shop, you know. Besides that, let me go back up here to this question about somebody was asking me, you look like a radio talk show host with that microphone. Yeah, man, shoot. We trying to be professional around here. They took me for a ride. Yeah, they all take us for a ride, man. Shoot. The difference is I got the money to pay for it. So, you know, I'll make that money back in a week. I mean, I'll clear that money in a week. So if I do 5,500 in a week after expenses, I'll take home 3,300. And that's cash that I clear after fuel, truck, trailer, and all that. I clear maybe 3,200, 3,100. I'll pay this bill off. Yeah, it's money that probably don't need to be spent. I could probably find alternatives, but at the end of the day, if I just hurry up, get it done, and then get back out there and make the money, because I'll spend about a week trying to figure out how to do this myself, right? When I can just let the shop do it, get back on the road, make the 5,000 in a week, pay this bill off, and then it'll be like it never happened. You know what I'm saying? So, now if I was leased on like to Snyder, I don't know, because at Snyder you don't make enough money to pay these kind of bills. You know what I mean? You just don't make enough money. Like with my own authority, it's easy for me to make $5,000 in a week, and after expenses, I net what my gross was at Snyder. I net $3,100, 28, 29, 3,500 a week. I net. That's what the business takes home, right? Then I pay myself a salary. Then all the other money that's left over just stays in the business. So that's what the difference is. You know what I'm saying? So let's see, short runs. Yeah, that's all the runs I do. I do short runs. The lows I do are like 200 to 400 miles. I mean, some guys may consider that as not short, but that's short, you know, for a lot of guys. A lot of guys like to go for them 1,000-mile runs, but I pretty much run within a 400 to 500-mile radius of Atlanta. So that's what I do. From Atlanta, I'll go out to Jackson, Mississippi, and then from Jackson, Mississippi, I'll either work in some kind of triangle to come back this way, you know. I'll work some kind of triangle. I'll either go up to Memphis, then come back down to Atlanta, or I'll go from Atlanta south, then cut over to 10, then go over to Mobile, then from Mobile I'll go north or go like up to like Jackson, Mississippi, then go cross 40, cut cross 40, North Carolina, come down to South Carolina. I pretty much run the Southeast region. That's pretty much what my running area is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. But let me get back to this question way up here. Let me see. Somebody asked a question about something. Oh no, that was on the trailer. That was on the other video. My bad. So the other news is on the truck. While I was sitting around getting ready waiting on the truck to get worked on, while I was waiting to get the truck worked on, I went ahead and applied for a loan. And lo and behold, I got approved. I got approved. So, I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy the truck. I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy this truck. So I called my Snyder Finance rep up. I called my Snyder Finance rep to get me the payoff quote for the truck, and I'm waiting on to see how much the payoff quote is, so I can see how much money I'm gonna spend to buy this truck. And right now, the terms that I got is it's 36 months at $1,000 a month. So depending on what's going on, I'm probably looking at $1,000 truck payment. It's 36 months. So I'm thinking I'll probably continue to what I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna overpay on the truck. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Let me see. Let me try to find a financial calculator. Where my calculator at? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find my calculator. Let's see. 30,000. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to find my calculator here. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see. Plus, if you have any other problem with the DBFL, will honor their work. Yeah, I mean it's pros and cons to. Sometimes you can't really, you just don't have time to be worrying about all that. Just get the stuff fixed and move on. I clean my DPF filters 2 times a year. Yeah, I mean it's my fault or whatever. I think I heard the mailman going down the street. Hiring a driver or what? Let me see. I like short, the week, long weekends. Where are you located? See, the rates are better down there. The rates are better down here. Man, these rates are terrible down here. All right, let me get this calculator. All right, so my payment gonna be $1,000 a month. That's what my payment gonna be. 36 months. And I can't wait because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have $30,000 reporting on my credit. And my whole thing is that, you know, having a truck through Snyder Finance, the truck doesn't report on my credit. And that's kind of like one of my pet peeves because I've been paying on this truck. Back when this truck was like $80,000, the payments never report on my credit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pay the truck off because I got approved through my bank to get the truck paid off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pay it off, get the title, and make the payments to the bank. Now, making the payments through the bank is great because it's gonna show on my credit that I got a $30,000 payment that I'm paying, which is great, you know. So I pay that off, and that's you guys just have absolutely, you don't know what that means for your credit. When you able to make timely payments on a debt on your credit and you pay it off, banks love that. Banks love that. They love that. So when the time come, you already proven to the bank that, okay, I have a house. As y'all can see, I have a house. I have rental properties. I got a trailer. I got a fuel vendor. All these activities going on your credit. All that information reporting, credit cards. So when the time come, say you need to go down to the dealership and get a truck, and you tell the dealership, say, hey, I want to get a truck. I want to get 5 trucks. They run your credit and they see that you got all this stuff going on your credit. You got good cash flow. They see you can afford it. And they're like, man, we're going to go ahead and give you these 5 trucks or trailers. Say I start leasing on guys, right? And I go down to the trailer dealer, say, man, I need 5 trailers. I got guys that need trailers. I can lease those trailers back to my guys and make a little bit of money. You know, I know some guys, they don't like other guys making money off other guys, but this is business. You know, if the trailer payment is $600 a month, you know, I charge a guy $650, you know, $700 a month on the trailer. You know, if he need a little bit of help getting the trailer, you know what I'm saying? So I need to make some money on this stuff, you know. So that, I mean, you know, a lot of guys be mad at Travel Loco but the thing is with Travel Loco, this is the thing what I hate about Travel Loco. This is what Travel Loco does. Travel Loco will find the most raggedy off-lease trailers, right? They will find the most raggediest off-lease trailers and charge guys a high rate on an old raggedy trailer that's not even worth that payment that they're paying. It don't make sense. Let me give y'all an example. This is what Travel Loco would do. Travel Loco would send you to Metro Trailer, Duval Trailers, Extra Lease Trailers, all these trailer rental lease companies, right? They will send you down there, right, to get a trailer. They would charge you $1,000 a month. When if I was to go down to the dealership and get the trailer my own, that trailer, you won't even be paying $400 or $500 a month. You'll be paying, like if you call Metro Trailer up and tell them you want a trailer, they would tell you the trailer goes for about $400 to $500 a month. You got to put down a deposit and that's about it. And the trailer's gonna cost you about $400 to $500 a month to just rent the trailer. It's a rental, month to month rental. When you want to bring the trailer back, you just give it back and go on about your business. But like what Travel Loco do, they charge double on the trailer. It could be for an infinite amount of time. You have no equity in the trailer. The trailer ain't yours. Say you at Travel Loco for 3 years, $1,000 a month. Let me mind you, you could have paid that trailer off by then, right? After 3 years. Because the trailer that you leasing or the trailer that you renting is not even worth $1,000 a month. You know, that same trailer is not even worth maybe $10,000 to $15,000. That doesn't even make sense. I know Travel Locos, they're in business to make money, but don't be ripping guys off like that, man. I know Travel Loco, they have to take a deposit. There's nothing wrong with taking the deposit. But don't be railroading guys. Like they be railroading guys on them trailers, man. They be having guys with these old 2005 trailers, 2006 trailers, and charging these guys $800-900 a month, $250 a week, basically, on some old equipment. If you're gonna be paying that amount of money, you might as well just go and get your own trailer, brand new one. You know, that's what I say. If you're gonna spend that kind of money, you know, you responsible for the trailer. The tires go bad. What are you paying? Why are you renting their trailer for if you responsible for the trailer? The whole point of leasing or renting a trailer is so that you won't have to be responsible for it. So if you get a busted tire, they pay for it, right? They take it out of an escrow or whatever. But it and they be these raggedy trailers too, used cap tires, and I'm like, what's the point? And they don't care. You know, they just getting the money of the week. You know? Let me see. Milkman is a fan. Metro won't just let anyone rent their trailers. A lot of trailers spots want you to have at least 10 trucks, 3 years in business. No, that's not true. That's not true. There's a Metro trailer up here on Moreland, and I spoke to the guy. He said, you need at least a year in business under your own authority to get a trailer. And certain circumstances, they may require 2 years, but it's somewhere around a year to 2 years to get a trailer through them. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is Travel Loco is railroading people. And the point is, I was trying to compare me financing the Snyder Finance truck and, you know, getting out from under Snyder. That's the point I was trying to make. I wasn't going into the details of when you shouldn't, or you can't, and that's not the point. You're forgetting the point. The fact remains is, you know, these companies, you ought to get your own equipment. That's what it comes down to. You got to get your own equipment. So, y'all are a trip. You talk to the guy in Moreland. Hey, I mean, that's what they told me. So Extra Leasing does the same thing. Depending on if it's new or used equipment, and they go from there. You know, so if you're talking about like a $50,000-$60,000 reefer trailer, they're gonna want a couple years in business. They're gonna want to see financials. And in some cases, they want you to have a yard. They're gonna want you to have multiple trucks. They want you to have a fleet and stuff like that. Certain circumstances. Right. Just like I just said, Extra Leasing wants 2 years in business. That's what I said. So Duval trailers, they're about the same. And then you can find some independent trailer rental places, that will, lease a trailer to you or rent it to you and whatnot. Looking for a drive-in, 14K cash. Hey man, get on Craigslist, eBay, um, your boy next door. Because if you see one, you got to make a move on it. You can't sleep on it. You cannot sleep on it. You can get 2 for $14. You a trip. So that's what I got going on. So depending on what this payoff quote is, I'm hoping it's gonna be around 28,000. Then I'll go ahead and do it. I'll send them the money. I'll get the title to the truck, and I'll make the payment to the bank. And I figure I'll go ahead and continue to make the same payments I've been making to Snyder Finance. But what I want the title, and I want those payments to report on my credit. That's what I want. So I want that hard work to be worth, I don't want to just be making payments and then Snyder Finance, they don't report that stuff to the credit bureau unless you default on the lease or something like that. So, but it's a commitment. Once I send them the money, the truck is mine. Ain't no giving it back. Ain't no giving it back. Got a new truck, 2010 KW with 80K on a rebuild, 86-inch sleeper, APU, ISX, 550 horsepower. What model is that KW? 2010? What's that, a T6000 or? I hope you ain't getting no T600. Okay. T660. Okay, yeah. I forgot what the T660s look like. T660. I forgot what the T660s look like. Hold on, y'all. Oh, okay, yeah. That's that the T660 is the truck that they trying to make it look like a W900. The T660 is, to me, is basically a modernized W900. Like if you look at a T660 and put it next to a W900, it's like the lines are much sleeker, smoother. And then the W900, the lines are traditional, conventional hood type. They got the breathers on the side and stuff like that. But yeah, this, how much you paid for it? Let me see. Let me see. Truck 2010, 80K rebuild. Oh, is that 30? Is that 30K? $30,000? Yeah, they ain't bad. Let me see. Oh, you got it in McDonough. Let me see. McDonough. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's a Kenworth dealership. If you're going southbound, they're on the right side. That's like exit 221 or something, exit 218 or something like that. I know what you're talking about. I think that's the dealership because that's the only dealership I know down in McDonough that sells Kenworths. It's right off the interstate. You can't miss it. It's right there. It's right there by the Toyota dealership. Yeah, exit 218. Yeah, it's by that Toyota dealership. So, but yeah, that's what's going on with the truck, man. I'm excited. Let me see. Let me see. 404 hiring a driver. They wanted 39K. I did 30 cash. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He went in there with the bands in there. He went in there with the bands, just threw it on the table. They ain't gonna say no. If you walk in the door with 30,000 cash, they are not gonna say no. They'll just hand you the title. They'll stumble around a little bit. They'll be like, oh wow, I gotta talk to a manager and all this, and be like, okay, well, just let me know if you want this 30K. I got 30K in my pocket right here. 404. Being that you have business credit, LLC, did that play a role in your transitioning? Transitioning? What you talking about? Getting the authority? I don't get what you're saying. Oh, Muhammad say, what's wrong with the truck? Their truck, I'm getting some work done on the DPF system, on the emission system. Getting some work done. So that's what we're doing. Did you see what happened to Woody? Yeah, I seen his video this morning. He said he was coming through Atlanta. His turbo went on him. You know, you ain't never got detention with convoy. Man, it's easy to get detention with convoy. All you got to do when you open up the load with convoy, it's going to show you the load, and in the load it's going to have I think you hit that tab on the right, and the menu it's going to change the screen, and it's going to have detention. You hit the detention button and it's automatic. You just hit the detention button and it'll automatically calculate, and it'll send you your new rate con to you with the detention in there. So hold on, let me bring this up. Let me see. Let me bring this convoy app up. Um your boy Rich, it's a good question. The thing is that the way that I got my LLC set up, it's, I don't know. All right. So here's convoy. All right. See right here, when you have the load up, you hit this button right here. You hit the support button. See, it says detention right there. You just hit detention, and then it'll automatically calculate your detention. See there? Look. All right, so right here, for some reason my phone GPS wasn't working that day, so I had to call in for my detention. But when I got here, when I hit the detention button, it automatically calculated. See there? An hour and 29 minutes of detention. Wow. YouTube is something else. See, they got the words flipped upside down and backwards. That's crazy. YouTube, they really don't want you putting stuff on YouTube. That's what they're doing. So it's easy to get detention on Convoy. It's Kate. You don't got to call nobody. You just hit the button. That's it. Trying to get this thing to focus. Come on, focus. All right, so you hit this button. And then you hit detention, and that's it. And then the detention just automatically calculates right there in front of you. Right there in front of you. And then as soon as you hit the button, they'll send you a Raycon in your email with the detention in there, and it'll automatically and then your money right here will update with the detention included. That's it, man. That's it. So, hey, Convoy, I never had a trouble with Convoy. Fofo gonna feel good with that title in hand. Fofo, when are you going to start looking for customers, or are you? That's a good question. I figure once I get past my first audit, get through my first year in business, then start looking for direct shippers. At this point, I don't feel like I don't have anything to offer. I only have one truck. So, I mean, I'm sure I can probably get one, but I feel like I don't have anything to offer. And I think I need 2 or 3 trucks. So, once I get through my audit and I look at maybe hiring some contractors, looking at how much insurance gonna cost, and because capacity is a big issue. Because I get brokers sending me emails all the time, and they have like 3, 4, 5 loads moving at one time, and I'm just one truck, and I can't even get into that game. So we'll get there eventually, you know. I got a DD15 2004, got an alarm for the knock sensor and yellow engine light. No, the only thing I got was a engine light with the saying the engine light saying that the DPF filters need to be serviced. So it's kind of my fault because I could have, I mean, the truck running fine. It pull loads fine. I had a 45,000 pound load the other day. Pulled the load fine. You know, it's just the engine light on. So, but the thing is, I didn't want to keep running it and running it, and then the power started derating, and then you sitting up there. Now you have to get a tow. That's another $1,000 that you got to spend, and then I got to deal with a shop far away from home. I'm at the house now. I got control of the situation. Drop the truck off at the shop, go home, watch TV, chill. You know, I'm in control here. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, your boy Rich. My bad, man. I got a sidetrack. Your boy Rich. Did LLC have a role in getting business credit? That's a good question, man. The thing is that you got to have your business set up properly to take full advantage of the bank system. There's a system when it comes to getting loans. Okay, it's a game you got to play. Dean Cole talks about this all the time. You got to have your business set up properly. See, like my business is set up to where the EIN number is attached to my social security number. So anytime I do business or apply for a loan, it's going to show in the system. It's things in the system that you don't see behind the scenes that you don't see. And a loan officer is not going to tell you, and an underwriter is not going to tell you, but there's certain things that they look for. And you got to have your business set up to where when you put your EIN number, your social security number in the application, you hit submit, or you call a bank up and the underwriter is looking at your file. When they see a small business, sole proprietor or something like that, they know that this business is a small business, which represents risk. So you don't want your social security number attached to an EIN number. So when you apply for your EIN number, you have to set it up to where your social security number is not attached to it. And there are ways to do that. And what you have to do is when you apply for the EIN number, you can't be an owner of this business. The business has to be its own person. So you have to set your business up properly. And there are ways to do that. So you got to create anonymity. So when you create your LLC, you can't put your name down as you can't put your name on there as a registered agent. I messed up. That's my fault. But I know that when the next time I start a business, I have to open a business with a registered agent. I have to start the business with the LLC being his own business. Don't put your name down on none of the paperwork. None of it. Okay, you got to create anonymity. And Georgia is one of them states where you can create anonymity because they don't require the owner of a business to put their name down as the registered agent. So I recommend getting a legitimate registered agent. You know, they're registered. You can Google registered agents that they cost like $40, $50 a year. Or some of them, it's like $100 for the lifetime of your business, depending on which one you go to. Mad Carriers is the shit in Georgia, 90% with the truck and trailer, 83% without. Go get your own authority. You get 100%. These rates are not high enough for you to be giving away 10, 15% of your money. It's just not enough money to go around. Go get your own authority, man. You doing all the work. Go get your own authority. It's not that hard to run your own authority. Don't waste your time. Just go get your own authority. Y'all act like it's so goddamn hard to get your own authority. You act like it's so hard, paperwork, and go get your own authority. Take it from me. I was leased on to 2 companies. All right. When I went from Snyder to Travel Loco and then get my own authority, I'm like, this is what I've been scared about. It ain't no paperwork. It's 2018. We got ELDs. That's 90% of your paperwork right there. It's the log. It's the driver logs. That's 90% of your paperwork. The other 10% is the 2290, the IFTA, the drug consortium. You only do that. You can get a drug consortium for $200 for 3 years. Once you start it, you don't have to fool with it no more. You don't have to fool with it no more. Once you start it, it's a one-time fee. The IFTA, you got to do that quarterly. That's not a lot of work. If you running your business anyway, if you keeping spreadsheets and you running paperwork on your business anyway, it takes. I did a video on it. If you go back in my catalog, I have a video showing you how to do your IFTA taxes. It took me like 10-15 minutes to do my IFTA taxes. I did a video on it. It's easy. Cake. It's cake. All right. And what else you got to get? You got to get your you got to renew it every year. $79 for the I lost my train of thought, but y'all know what I'm talking about. All this stuff is annual. You just got to pay annual permit fees. That's it. You put a little calendar in your phone, you put a little calendar, you write it down in your paperwork and say, okay, December 20th, I got to pay my shoot. Hold on, y'all. Let me find it. Let me see if somebody said it. UCR. Yeah. Once a year, you pay your UCR, $79. I mean, once you get it all done, like doing it up front, yeah, it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of backwards and forth. But once you get it done, you only got to do it once a year. The only thing that's probably going to take up a lot of your time is your logbook. But with the ELDs, with Keep Trucking, I don't even have to touch it because it's filing your logs for you. Every 90 days, I'll go through there and I just select all. I hit select all. I download all my logbooks for the last 90 days and I file them. Put it in my Google Docs file. I put January to March logbooks. And then every 90 days, I do April to June logs. And then from July to September logs. You know what I mean? It's cake, man. Get all the money. To get you on authority is $300. It'll take you 15-20 minutes to do the authority paperwork. It's cake. You just answering some questions. You just answering some questions, man. It's cake. What about insurance? He said, what about insurance? Yeah, I mean, insurance, you just got to shop around and figure out what you can afford. But once you get your insurance, yeah, up front, it's expensive. But then once you get that out the way, your second month, after about 60 days, 90 days, I'm at the 6th, 7th. Yeah, I'm 8 months in my authority. Man, I wouldn't have it no other way. I wouldn't have it no other way. Man, y'all talking about these leasing on? Go get your own authority. Go get your own authority. Stop fooling around leasing on these companies. Go build your own business. Your BOC3, the BOC3 is a one-time registration for the life of your authority. You spend the BOC3 is 40. The BOC3 is about $30 to $100, depending on which company you go with. Each company's got their own fee, that they charge, So the average price for a BOC3 is about $50. You pay the $50. That's it for the life of your authority. That's it. I recommend choosing a big company when it comes to BOC3. You don't want to find a little small company because a small company, they go out of business and then, you got to start over. You got to get another BOC3 company. So GL Authority or OOIDA, Get Loaded, all these big companies that's been around for 20, 30 years, they're not going nowhere. But you don't want no fresh BOC3 company charging $25 and then they go out of business in 6 months. You got 30 days or your DOT number going to be deactivated. So Don't fool around with that. ELD does IFTA 2290. I just did my 2290. That's once a year. 2290 is nothing. You know, you go on the IRS website, you sign up for the program to make IRS payments. You go on there and you select the form that you want, which is a 2290 for us truck drivers. You select the form that you want to pay. You put the VIN number, your EIN number, your business address, and you make the payment. It takes 5 minutes to pay your 2290. Everybody's scared of all this paperwork. So if you live in New York, you got to get a permit to run in New York. If you live in Kentucky, you plan on running through Kentucky, you got to get a KYU number. You live in Mexico, you got to get a New Mexico. You got to get a weight distance permit to ride in New Mexico. I don't go that far. Oregon, you got to get a permit. You live in Oregon, but I run in the Southeast, and the only permit I use is the Kentucky one, and that's it. So that's what it is. I go on these rants about these authorities because it's like guys be ranting, raving about leasing on to these companies. Don't be wasting your time leasing on to these companies. Don't waste your time. Fofo, how can I reach you outside of YouTube? I'm 44 hours old. I'm 44 years old, making a career change, but you can email me at jhtrucking45@gmail.com. But yeah, so I got off on a rant. My bad, y'all. I got off on a rant. But so when you but yeah, so I think having an LLC didn't necessarily have a big role in getting approved for any loans. I think it helps because the bank now sees that you are a business, and instead of being personally liable for some of this debt, your business is liable for the debt. And what happens is if depending on how the bank reports, they'll report the debt on the business side, Equifax business, Experian business, TransUnion business, and stuff like that. So like my trailer, it doesn't even show up on my personal credit. The trailer shows up on my business credit. So which is great because that now is a business debt. So you can take out all the business debt you want. So that way, when you're doing stuff in your personal life, you want to go buy a house, you want to buy a car, you trying to do financing things in your personal life, you have a better chance of getting approved just because it's not affecting your debt to income ratio. So, but at this point, I really don't care about borrowing money like that. I don't make a big deal. But if you're trying to find capital to get you a startup going, if you want to go get a truck, just say if you want to go get a truck and you got about $5,000, $10,000. I don't recommend using that $5,000 to $10,000 to go get the truck. I recommend getting an LLC, setting that up, and borrowing maybe $20,000 to get you a truck and keeping that cash. And then in the first 30 days of running that truck and pay that loan off. Don't use your own money. That's how I look at it. Use the other people's money. So, because as a small business, cash is your lifeblood of your business. You need cash. And I don't think it's a good idea to exhaust all your cash resources to start a business. I'm not telling guys to go out there and borrow $100,000 in debt. No. You got to be reasonable. Borrow about 10, 15, 20,000, something that's reasonable to where you can pay it off quick. And, something that takes about 6 months to pay off. In trucking, you go and borrow 20, 30,000. You can borrow 20, 30,000 on a new business Like if you get an LLC, you can easily get approved for 20 to 30,000. That's enough to get you a truck and trailer, a used truck and trailer, to get out here and start making money fast and pay that off. So that's my opinion on that. You know, like a lot of guys get the wrong opinion, think that I'm telling guys to go out there and borrow money, just be borrowing it, just borrow, just have no, don't even have no desire to pay it back. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You got to have some business sense to say, okay, you know, look at your market and see, okay, look at this business venture, write it down on a piece of paper and say, okay, generally you probably can make about $20,000 a month with a truck. Okay. I'm gonna borrow 30,000. Okay. $20,000 a month with a truck. I can pay $10,000 a month to a loan. I can pay off a loan with $10,000 a month. Okay. You're going to have fuel. Your fuel bill going to be about $4,000 a month, $3,500 a month. Okay. You know, your insurance, that's going to be another $1,000 a month. Okay. You're looking at about $6,000 a month in expenses. So if you grossing $20,000 a month, you got $14,000 you get to hold on to. $4,000, you can pay yourself $4,000. The other 10, you can throw that back into the business, pay off a short-term loan, startup funding, pay that off. Okay. Take you 3 months to pay that off. You just got to sit down and build a business plan to pay that off, because the loan gets you the startup. Okay. If I'm talking to guys who want to get a truck and they trying to get a truck, this is what I'm talking about. You know, so I'm not telling guys to get caught up in a 5-10 year loan note situation. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You know, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. Because the problem is trucking is a very lucrative business. The problem is you need to get started. You need to find ways to get started. And a lot of guys just don't have access to get that startup funding. You need that startup funding. That's just a major one. You got to get your skin in the game. And it takes $20,000-$30,000 to get your skin in the game. So, you know, you need about $30,000. Go and get your LLC, set the LLC up with a business address, business phone number, blah, blah, blah. Now you can go and apply for some loans. You might get approved for 30, 40,000, 50,000. You get that 50,000, go buy your truck and trailer. You get your plates, all that. You know, your first 30 days, man, you can hit the ground running, making 20, 30,000 a month, pay that loan back off. Now you got a trucking business now. Now you got a $20,000 a month trucking business now. You started with nothing. All it took was somebody to give you a loan to get started. In a year, 6 months, in a year, you hired on guys. You got a little small fleet going. Now you got direct shippers. Now you got all it took for you to you just need to get your skin in the game. Once somebody gives you that chance with some funding, that's all it takes. Funding. That's what we're talking about. Funding. It's like a lot of guys start yelling at me, talking about, man, you steering guys on the road to failure. Just think about it. Snyder, JB Hunt, all these companies out here, it just took them that small investment. They just needed 10,000, 20,000 to get started. That's all it took. To be able to get 10,000 to go to a dealership, put down on a truck. Granted, you doubling up a note because you borrowed money to go get a truck to borrow. But the thing is, this business is so lucrative where you can afford to do that. You can borrow 10,000 to put 10,000 on the truck to pay the truck note, and in 30 to 60 days pay it off. You can do that because this business makes so much money. You know, you know, so so that's to answer your question, Rich Boy. That's what I was going with that. Rich Boy, what's his name? Yeah, your boy Rich. I got Big Boy Rich said, I got my truck. I just need a safety net for when I'm out running and just me to cover a big breakdown. Got my LLC just waiting on my own docs. Yeah. So that 14K ain't never guaranteed, man, with breakdowns and everything. Yeah, that's a risk. It's a risk. But what you gonna do? Live your life like a pussy, or you gonna come out here and try? You know, you gotta try, man. You gotta try something. You ain't doing nothing else with your life. You know, we ain't doing nothing else with. I figure I ain't doing. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sit home and watch TV. I mean, I'm at least try, get out here and try. You know, so because if I don't try, I'm gonna be wishing, I should have went and got that truck. Man, I should have gotten that authority. Now I'm doing it, and now I'm like the next level. I'm trying to get to the next level. I'm trying to get fleet of trucks. Maybe I'll get 2-3 trucks, and maybe one day I can get a warehouse and maybe start a brokerage or something. It's jhtrucking45@gmail.com. Yeah, that's my email. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah, it's risky, and don't let all this energy confuse you, because I am nervous every day, but at the same time, we just got to come out here and do what we got to do and try. This is what life is about. You got to get out here and try. You got to try something. Is skydiving, or riding on a scary roller coaster, or all the scary things in life, getting married and buying your first house. I mean, there's all kind of things in life to be scared of, and life is a lot of risk things to go down in life, man. But hey, I'm trying it, and hey, it's up to Jesus, to it's up to Jesus, and it's up to Jesus, and just I gotta get out here and try, to see if it'll work. You never know, man. You could be the next JB Hunt. Who knows? You could be the next Swift. Your boy Rich say, tell him for I'm thinking about signing my truck on Travel Local. Did you have any issues at Travel Local? It's being leased on is it's a waste of time, man. Being leased on is just a waste of time. Being leased on is a waste of time, man. Look, let me tell you something. When you leased on to a carrier, when you're leased on to a carrier, yeah, your truck and trailer is yours, but you still can't do what you want to do. Like, for example, I was at Travel Local, and Travel Local, they require you to send in your bills every week to get paid. Right? Well, when I was at Snyder didn't even require me to send in all my bills. When I left Snyder, I had a whole pack of bills in the back of my truck that I never sent in. Like with Snyder, when I deliver a load, that's it. I don't never need have to send in no bills to Snyder to receive payment on a load. So I'm not saying that's okay, but what I'm trying to say is that Travel Local takes it to the next level to where if you don't send in your bills for your loads, if you miss one bill, if you send in, like say you got 6 bills, right? And you send in 5 of them and you miss one, they will hold your whole settlement for missing the one bill, the bill of lading. I'm like, that don't make sense. I got in an argument with Eddie and I told him, I was like, hey man, I understand why y'all holding our settlement for not sending me these bills of lading, but don't hold my whole settlement for one bill of lading. Can you send me all my revenue for all the bills that I submitted? You can hold a one bill. He's like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, okay. And here's the deal. And here's the deal. A lot of the brokers that I was pulling for, they never required me to send in original bills. I think, not if I can remember, I think out of all the loads that I pulled with Travel Local, 2 brokers only required original bills. Only 2 brokers. One broker is what's the name of the broker? Shoot. Everybody talk about this people. Not Landstar, but shoot, what's the name of the broker? They have their own trucks too. A lot of guys pull for them. I'm trying to think of them. He said UCR. UCR not a broker, man. TQL, no, they don't require original bills. You can just scan the bills with your phone. They'll pay you. Armstrong. He said Armstrong. Mercer. It's Mercer. Mercer, if you book a Mercer load, they will not pay you unless you send in original bills. It's another broker. I'm trying to think. It's another broker I pull for that require original bills. Now, when you get the Raycon, in the Raycon, they have all these stipulations on what you're supposed to do on the load. You got to do check calls. You got to call in 30 minutes before detention. You got to arrive on time for the load. All these, requirements on the load, right? None of them say send in original bills. Most of them say when you deliver the load, it says send in a copy of the bills or something or rather, TransFlow or something like that. None of them say, no, 65 too small. 65 too small. What y'all talking about? So that's one of the issues I don't like about Travel Local. I don't like that. I get it and I understand it, but I don't like that. I'm putting up all this risk and you're treating me like a W-2 employee. I don't like that. The contract is structured in such a way where, yeah, you 1099, but they got all these rules in here where you might as well be a W-2. You might as well be a W-2, right? You might as well be a W-2 because just like with Snyder, the way that they get away with you being a 1099 is because they got the load board and the IRS stipulates in order to be an independent contractor, you get to do the work how you want to do it, when you want to do it. But they're missing the one thing. To be a true contractor, you got to be able to work for any client, which is brokers for me. If you're an attorney, uh, my brain stopped working. If you're an attorney, a doctor, a private practice that does business with the public, accountant or something like that, you have thousands of clients at any given time you can work with. Just like with me, I'm independent. I can work with TQL, JB Hunt, Snyder. I can work with hundreds of brokers. But with Snyder, the carrier, Snyder is your source of, they're your only client. That is a great area when you're trying to decide whether if this person is a W-2 or 1099. But where they get away with is that you're making a truck payment, you're paying for insurance, but the contract is structured, and with the truck being tied to the carrier, you're basically a W-2, but they're calling you 1099. You're not a true independent contractor. Independent contractors, like for example, when I go and pick up a load and I feel like I'm being detained at a shipper, I can pull my trailer out of there and a damn thing they can do about it. I can go into that shipper and say, hey, you know what? Y'all taking too long. I don't like this freight. Whatever the case may be, take it off my truck. You can't do that when you're at Snyder. You probably can do it at Traveloco. Traveloco probably won't even care if you do that. They'll question you to death. They'll be like, oh, why'd you do that? And they'll reprimand you like you're a child. Right? And that's not the major issue that upsets me. It's just that mindset and that spirit. I'm responsible for this truck and trailer, but you're going to tell me what to do. The whole point of becoming an independent contractor is being able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, do business with who and when you want to do business with. Snyder, you can't do that. Landstar, you can't do that. Traveloco, it's a gray area. A lot of these companies that when you're leased on, you're still leased on. The carrier tells you what to do. You can't Traveloco turned off the personal conveyance on my Keep Trucking. They tell me that, oh, you can't personal convey more than an hour and all this BS and all this. I'm an independent contractor. If I want a personal convey, I can personal convey from Florida to California if I wanted to. I'll throw that ELD out the window. Really? So, I don't like nobody calling me, questioning me 20 questions when I'm running my truck. I just don't like that. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. When it comes to being leased on, a lot of guys, they probably don't even care. But if you're going to sit up there and do all that work, run up and down the road, you might as well do it for yourself and build your own company. The sweat on your back needs to be worth it. Not putting money in other folks' pocket. All these guys leased on to these companies, they giving away 10-15% of their money, and then they getting the truck and the trailer through the carrier and all this. They giving away so much money, man. It's like all the money that I done made with my authority and my truck is broke down, I'm paying for the breakdown with the money that I'm saved from being leased on with these companies. Yeah. In a week, I'll probably save like $700-800 a week. So we probably like $700-800 a week. Where we at? January, February. I started my authority. I started running under my authority in February. So February, March, April, May, June, July. Say 6 months. So 6 let's see, 6 months, 6 times 4, that's 24 weeks All right, come on now. Let's see, like 24 weeks. And say the average settlement from Traveloco is about 5,500. Just on the average. Some guys do 7 and 8, some guys do 4, but the average 5,500. So 5,500. I guess one of y'all emailing me, one of y'all, 5,500 times. When I was at Traveloco, I was making 88%, 12%. So I was giving Traveloco by the average of about $700 a week. 700 a week times 24 weeks. I've saved about $17,000 average. Having my own authority, it allowed me to keep $17,000 in 6 months. So y'all want to talk about my truck being in shop? Let's talk about being leased on. Let's just talk about being leased on. The trucks, we can't do nothing about the trucks. If you can go to Freightliner and get a brand new 2019 Freightliner for $80,000, we can talk about that. But this is something I can help by going to get my own authority. That's something I can do. Okay, go and get your own authority, filling out the paperwork to save in 6 months about $17,000 in a year times, just say 52, just say 700 a week times 52. That's 36 grand. That I'm keeping. Now you got to pay taxes on it. Just say we paying taxes. I'm gonna say with my deductions, say I'm paying about 8% taxes with my deductions times 0.08. So I'm paying the government $3,000 to make 36 grand more. So, okay, 36,800 minus 3,000. I'm still keeping 30 grand, man, in a year. Come on, man. Go get your own authority. Go get your own authority. It's not that hard. The application is $300. The permits and fees, the base plates. A lot of you guys already got your plates because you leased on to carriers that require your base plates. With Traveloco, you got to have your own plates to go over there. You got to have you paying your $22.90 to have a truck registered in this country. You got to have a $22.90 to get your own plate. So you got to pay that. You can't get out of that. You got to pay the $22.90. It's $550. Go get your own authority. Go get your own authority. Keep 40. I be home every weekend. I can be making more. I be home every weekend, right? For you guys that's hardworking dudes that run 7 days a week, just run. We could probably, some of you guys could be keeping more than 36. I mean, I just did my numbers, like, let's say some of you guys that's making $7K a week times you with these companies taking 10, 15%, let's say 12%. Okay. You're giving the carrier $840 a week times 52. Just for some paperwork. $43,000. Fucking paperwork. Go get your own authority. Stop bullshitting. Getting your own authority is cake. It's a little bit more work. But the thing is, when you leased onto a carrier, the more work that you have from being with your own authority is offset by other things when you lease on. With Snyder, I had to update my ETAs, and I had to deal with a whole bunch of aggravation stuff with Snyder, right? I had to deal with doing quarterly trainings and all this other BS, right? But with my own authority, yeah, I'm doing maybe just a little bit more work. I have to do IFTA. I have to pay my own base plates once a year. That takes 10 minutes. I have to pay my own $22.90. Yeah. Right? 5 minutes. So that time that you take to do that, but then the time when you leased on, right? Travel Loco, you on the phone all the time, and you got to wait around for somebody being leased on. You got to wait for the dispatcher to send you a Raycon. You got to do all. Just think about all the other stuff. It's offset by having your own authority. When if you're doing a little bit more with your own authority, if you compare the two, you probably doing less with your own authority, because when you was leased on, you had to update ETAs. You gotta talk to a dispatcher. You gotta do all this. You gotta come in for quarterly training. Any of you guys was leased on, with Snyder, you gotta come in for quality training. That ruins your whole day. You ain't running a day. You're not running a day. By the time you get out the quarterly training, it ain't no lows on the board. You sitting for the day. You booking something for the next day. You might as well just call it a day. You're not running the day. Okay, you got to do a safety meeting. You got to talk to your ICA about something, and don't be on the ICA's bad side. He would turn your low board off. The ICA will turn your low board off. You go into that low board and you like, wait, why my low board ain't working? You call up your ICA and say, hey, my low board. Oh yeah, I turned your low board. And don't let it be on a Friday. Don't let it be on a Friday. If it's on a Friday, your low board ain't turning back on Monday, maybe Tuesday-ish. Don't let that mofo go on a vacation either. You call in your ICA. Oh, he's going on a vacation. When he coming back? Next week. Your low board is going to be off for a week. Go get your own authority. Go get your own authority. I'm just telling you. I'm just okay. Trucker B1111 just got my safety audit, and it took about 2 hours. Thanks for sending me that checklist, bro. It was cake, wasn't it? It was cake. From what I understand, I haven't been through my audit yet, but I know guys who've been through their audit. It was a cake. You just send in it's just a paperwork audit. They just want to see your paperwork. They want to see your insurance. They want to see your IFTA and your last 30 days of logs and a few other things, your inspections. Make sure you got your inspections done on your truck. You send that stuff in, done. Yeah, easy, cake. But guys are bullshitting about getting on authority. I'm talking to guys and they like, oh, I'll wait until next year. That year, you could have had your authority established for the year. Every year that you wait, that's a year that you waiting. You pushing your. Right now, I'm sitting at 8-9 months of my authority got seasoning. My authority got 8 months of seasoning. I can pretty much pull freight for anybody out here. And Trucker B1111, once you go through your audit, that even opens you up to even more brokers. That opens you up to even more brokers, because now when you call on a load and that broker say, hey, what's your MC number? He's going to look at your MC number and you got a satisfactory DOT rating. You a full-fledged carrier. You're not a new entrant carrier anymore. You're a full-fledged carrier. Now, he's more reluctant to give you a higher rate on the load. He's more reluctant to give you the business. Okay. You got a better chance of getting a direct shipper because your DOT rating says satisfactory. You went through your audit. Now you're a full-fledged carrier. Guys, keep waiting. Stop waiting. Fill out the damn thing and get your authority. Stop bullshitting. Stop it. A lot of guys talking about this paperwork and all of this. I'm like, man, I don't know. I wouldn't lease on. I wouldn't. If I can help it, I wouldn't lease on, man. I just wouldn't. All that crap that Snyder be having you, they Snyder and Traveloka, all these companies, they manipulate the DOT rules and talk about, oh, you can't do that. The DOT says this. They're lying. You go and pull out the DOT book, it don't say nothing of the sort. They talking about, oh, you can't personal conveyance with a trailer. The DOT rule says you can personal convey with a trailer. Long as you are not advancing in over the road, as long as you're not advancing in commerce, which means you're not going in a direction to load, to get paid, to run a load, you can personal convey all across the country. You know, so when you personal convey, it's nothing to just put in, I went to Walmart. Put in the personal conveyance comments in the flag in there and just put, going to Walmart. I'm going to the mall. Taking the truck to the shop. Going to get something to eat. Went to Pizza Hut. Get something to eat. You sold a truck in another state. So you bobtail from Georgia to North Carolina to sell the truck. You personal convey. It's, you know, but leave it up to these carriers. They turn your ELD off and you can't personal conveyance. You're supposed to be a contractor, independent, but they're handcuffing you, telling you what to do. So that's my rant on what's this guy? Trucker, your boy Rich. My opinion on that's my opinion on leasing out. Eddie, yeah, appreciate the super chat, Eddie, man. I ain't see that. Got $5 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm making some money today. Got my YouTube video going, making money today. You know, I made $5 today. 2 hours in this video, I made $5 today. Shoot, I put that $5 on this truck repair bill. Put that $5. Shoot. But I'm sorry, y'all, man. I got on a little rant, but that, you know, that's what's going on. What is the person needed? What is the person needed for EIN? What you said? What's the person needed for EIN? You might have to retype that question. Thank you for sharing your experience as a truck owner operator. Yeah. Hey, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, but I'm enjoying it. It's fun, and my adventure running a business is fun, man. It's experience, because just say I was to get into another line of business, I can take these business experience and apply it to a different business, right? So, what you said, Epps? What's wrong with the money maker 404? I missed that. You might have to catch it on the replay. Is there a real driver shortage in trucking? I did a video on that a couple videos back. OOIDA put out an article talking about the myth when it comes to a driver shortage. It's not a driver shortage. It's really a freight shortage. Actually, it's more trucks than freight out here, but the big companies want you to believe that there's a driver shortage. I think every industry needs to have some sort of shortage to maintain the necessity to have a business. If there were too many burger joints, it wouldn't be enough business for the burger joints to be in business. Just like Uber. Like Uber is so saturated now, it's not even worth it to do Uber. Like when I did Uber, I was out. I used to do Uber. I don't know if any of y'all know, I never talked about it. But when I did Uber, I would go out all day and probably make $120 to $150 a day. I'm talking about all day. I'm talking about I got up early, 8, 9 o'clock, and then get home to like 8, 9 o'clock at night and probably make about $120, $150 a day. That, and I talked to guys who used to do it a long time ago. These guys making $1,500 a week. They're making $200, $300 a day, and like it's just so it's a myth. And the problem is what they said in the article is basically that the mega carriers are not treating the drivers properly, so they stay. So it gives off an impression that the industry has a driver shortage. It's not a driver shortage. It's a company retention issue. They're not treating the drivers right. So, and the thing is, the companies know that. They do it on purpose, because if the companies are recycling through a whole bunch of inexperienced drivers, that keeps the pay low. That keeps the income low. They don't want to pay all that money. They don't want drivers to sit and retire in a truck. They don't want that. They want you to get in that truck for about a year or two and leave. What companies are doing, they'll let you sit in that truck for about 6 months to a year, and they'll kind of force you out of the truck, so to speak, in some kind of weird way. For example, your loads will start becoming short, or it'd be tough to find loads, and they start giving you crappy loads. All you guys been in trucking, you experience this. I experienced this. Like, you be running good for about 3 months, you be running real good, and then all of a sudden, where the loads at? Where the loads at? And then you'll put up with it for maybe a month, 2 months, maybe a year, 2 years will go by, and you put up with it. And then all of a sudden, nothing, and now you get the janky loads sitting at a customer for a day, and a bunch of BS loads and stuff like that. So eventually you just be, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to another company. And all these companies just recycling through a whole bunch of drivers. The guys that's coming out of truck driving school, they get the job for about 6 months, they quit and move on to another company. Get the job for about 6 months, a year, 2 months, 2 years, move on. It's very few guys that are staying at companies for 10, 15, 20 years. And they don't want that, because if you got somebody that's sitting in a position like that for 15, 20 years, that means these veteran seniority guys, they're maxed out. These guys, you start having a guy sitting up there running the truck making 70, 80K. These companies don't want that. That's 2 truck driving jobs. 80K, 70K a year. They can pay 2 guys out of truck driving school 40K a year each, rather than paying one guy 70 or 80K a year. That's just how the game go. How would you run company drivers using the load board with your authority? I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. The only way I would have company drivers is if I had a direct shipper. That's the best way to do that, because you can have 2 or 3 guys on a direct shipper lane, and you can just put them in trucks and they just run them lanes back and forth. That's the only way I would run that. I mean, you can do it on the load boards, but nah, that's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work. Yeah. On that level with a company driver, I would use a broker to get you on a backhaul back to your shipper. That's what broken loads is for. When you got company drivers, that's to get you a backhaul. You would use it sparingly here and there to get you back to your shipper. That's how you run company drivers. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't have company drivers full time, because tell you the truth, it's not enough money to go around. Tell you the truth. So it's just not enough money to go around, to be honest. So, but hey, let me see. They plan on taking 200,000 drivers off the road. They building a mega rail in Savannah, Georgia. They planning. Yeah, but I figure that's gonna take forever to do that. But hey, I'm about to get off here. We got this video running about 2 hours, man. I've been running my mouth. I know nobody don't be sitting through this whole 2 hours, me running my mouth. But hey, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. I'll see y'all next time.